Alrighty guys, what's going on everybody? Welcome back here to another live stream, my friends. I hope everyone is having a great day so far. Hope you guys are doing alright regarding that crazy weather we had the last couple days. I am happy to tell you that regarding this event, things are mostly done. We're actually currently watching the last set of storms roll their way off the U.S. East Coast here. Actually, I wanted to pull that up real quickly. But yeah, we got ourselves a few of those storms rolling their way off of like New Jersey, but there is currently no severe thunderstorm warnings, no tornado warnings. Honestly, y'all, it looks like the whole mess that we've been dealing with is relatively over. However, unfortunately, like I said, we're watching another system coming up here. We'll get into that here in a moment. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop y'all over down here real quickly. I wanted to look at Florida. Let's see what we got here for today. Let's see. We got ourselves Tiffany. We have Tay. We have Pilot. We got ourselves Florida Man. We got ourselves STS. We have Swanky, Viper, Mr. Wolf. We have Knot. We have Ghost. Let's see here. We have Carissa. We got Roby. Storm Analysis. We have X Monster. We have Viper. I don't know if I already said Viper. But what's up, everybody? Obviously, everybody else who is, just hanging out, not really chatting. But anyways, y'all, so yeah, here we go. Here's the current view. That front we were talking about basically just fizzling out. It's pretty much done, my friends. I'm happy to tell y'all, yeah, once again, we got really no warnings going on here, no severe thunderstorm warnings, just a couple of like marine warnings off the U.S. East Coast. But honestly, like I was saying, that whole mess is done, which is definitely good news. Now, really quickly, before we dive on into this next system, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys this. This is our current power outage map regarding things. It's actually pretty crazy. Look at this. West Virginia has about 70,000 people here without power. We got Pennsylvania about 55,000. New York about 55,000 as well. We got ourselves Ohio about 16,000 people without power. Nearly 20,000 in Michigan. Look at that, almost 88,000 people without power out there in Wisconsin. Like, wow, they've been getting hit. We actually got ourselves quite the system popping off across the regions here, and even Florida, we have a decent amount of power outages out there, just a little over 11,000. Now, let me go ahead and bring y'all over here to the whole radar view here. So this is our system, absolute beast of a storm here. So we have that low pressure system stalling right across portions of like the northern Ohio Valley out there. That central low is located here, kind of in southwestern Michigan, out there by like northern Indiana overall. So we do got ourselves, a lot of rain, a little bit of showers. These guys are not expected to be severe. We also do got ourselves a little bit of snow popping up out there towards like, northern Illinois, into portions like western Wisconsin. Even a little bit of snow starting to pile up there into like northern Indiana. Also a little bit out there by the U.S. Northeast coast, by the U.S. Northeast here, in which we got a little bit of a mixture of precipitation between portions like New York State, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and obviously Vermont and New Hampshire future as well. So just wanted to go ahead and mention that with you guys. Just wanted to go ahead and show y'all what's going on. But yeah, this guy is mostly done. The watches, the last of those tornado watches just finally got canceled. We no longer have any of those guys. This whole system is out of the way pretty much, my friends, so there's really not much more to worry about regarding this. Now, with all that being said, like we were talking about, guys, we actually have ourselves another storm coming in here across portions of the country. So let's go ahead and hop you guys over here to the Storm Prediction Center because we actually have not 1 but 2 days regarding severe weather. So the first day regarding the potential for severe storms is going to be coming up here for Saturday. Out there for Saturday, we have ourselves areas by like kind of central, kind of western Oklahoma, portions out there by like central Kansas and south central Nebraska. We got ourselves like I said, pretty decent risk here regarding severe weather here for Saturday. So to my folks out there, once again in Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska, we got ourselves a risk area. Now this is what we call like obviously a 15% risk area. So what happens is basically within 25 miles of a given point, within the perimeter around a given area, there's a 15% chance that severe weather could occur here for Saturday. So obviously, we don't have like an actual breakdown or an actual outlook right now. But yeah, for Saturday, once again, we're going to have to watch out there towards the Central Plains as severe weather as possible. But that's not all, my friends. So we work away into Sunday. As of now, Sunday is not in the risk regarding severe weather. But look at this, y'all. As we work away over into early next week here for Monday, we got ourselves another area to watch out there for. Out there in basically southern Oklahoma, southwestern Arkansas, northwestern Louisiana, northeastern Texas. Here we got ourselves yet again another 15% risk regarding the potential for severe weather. So, like I said, between Saturday as well as Monday, out there by like the Central Plains, we're going to definitely need to be watching out there regarding, that potential for severe weather. So here's what we're going to do, my friends. We're going to hop on into the models. I really want to just take a look and see what's going on here regarding these events here. Let's actually go ahead and bring up the northern or kind of the Central Plains here. We're going to look at the GFS model. This is the long-range American model. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what's going on here with this. So as we approach into Saturday, this is about 75 hours. You know what? We might even have like the NAM available. We might even have some mid-range model support for this. Kind of looks like it. So honestly, guys, to be honest with you, regarding this system, at least from what the models are saying as of now, there's not going to be as much instability or as much unstable air available for this system, which is good news. But just know that could be trending. It could obviously trend a little higher as we get a little closer. That's pretty typical for severe weather events and stuff like that. Yeah, we're going to get ourselves, another strong low-pressure system. And honestly, the winds on this one's also looking pretty concerning. Very, very strong, very, very strong low-level jet here, about 4,000 feet up. So if you have really strong winds in our lower atmosphere, that is going to be pretty good regarding the potential out there for severe weather. So, out there in the region there, there could be some, severe thunderstorms. We're still going to wait and see if there's any tornadic concern with that. But, usually where you have a strong low-level jet, there is. Mid-level winds, also pretty strong out there. So we have a lot of strong winds, kind of similar to this last event. But from what it looks like as of now, the instability or that thunderstorm fuel, essentially, is not as high. And honestly, like I said, we don't really have a whole lot of instability, but we'll watch it and see if that does trend up, because like I was mentioning, typically during like I said, typically during we're looking out far down in time, typically the models don't show the appropriate amount of instability that usually happens whenever the day occurs. Usually the models do kind of underperform or kind of underestimate the instability in the atmosphere. So we'll give it a few days. We'll go ahead and see what's going to go on there. But yeah, let's hop back to GFS here. So then we work our way over here into Monday. Now, honestly, yeah, I can actually, okay, I think Monday might even be a bigger day than we think. Wow, look at that. Okay, so here for Monday, starting next week here, we got ourselves a lot of instability. This is actually a pretty good amount. So out there for Monday, we got a good amount of instability, potential thunderstorm fuel out there by like Texas, possible. an uncapped environment too out there by like Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, possibly like Tennessee. I mean, shoot, maybe even up into like the southern Ohio Valley by like, southern Illinois, and maybe going up a little further to the northeast there. Yeah, there's a lot of instability available there. Let's go ahead and grab a little bit of a sounding. Or sorry, we'll actually take a look at the wind shear first, and then we'll grab some soundings here. So what I am noticing though is that our instability, or sorry, our lower level winds are not as strong as they should be, for like widespread tornadic activity. It does look like those winds do increase here, obviously for the morning of Tuesday, but at this point, it looks like storms will not really be firing off here. Maybe there could be some out there by Texas. And honestly, even in the Tuesday, if this continues, we might even have a bit of severe weather kicking off there for not just Monday, but maybe even Tuesday. Across the regions. But yeah, honestly, this is a little concerning. Just given the amount of instability, the potential fuel that's in the atmosphere there, that is a little concerning. The good news is, though, like I was saying, is those lower level winds are actually pretty weak. I don't think they would do anything super, super significant, so I wouldn't really say that, big tornadoes or anything like that would be a problem. As of now, I don't think so. Our mid-level winds are, they're okay. They're definitely good enough to get those storms organized and to get severe weather really rolling, but I think this would honestly be kind of more of a concern for, like damaging winds and stuff. Let's go ahead and grab a sounding here. So this is for basically the evening of Monday. This is, if you don't know what a sounding is, it's just a sample of the atmosphere given one model. I don't expect you guys to understand all of this, but I'll look at it and I'll kind of break down what we're looking out there for. So, yeah, no, exactly what I was just talking about. While we do have a little bit of, changing winds, we do have a little bit of wind direction change in our lower atmosphere, which, if you don't know, that's what's needed to really produce tornadoes, is just a sudden change in wind direction. So here in our lower atmosphere at the surface, ground level, the winds are moving pretty much north, right? And as you go up in the altitude, a couple thousand feet, the winds actually change directions to the northeast. So we have a sudden change in wind directions there, which could create some spin in our lower atmosphere, which ultimately could lead to maybe a little bit of tornadic activity. But the good news is that the magnitude of these winds is pretty weak. These winds are really nothing crazy. So like I said, it'll be okay regarding that. While there is a possibility for a weak tornado, it would probably be pretty brief and on the lower scale, just given how low in these winds are. Once again, our lower level winds are not very strong. Now, once you go up in the altitudes, our upper and mid-level winds are pretty strong, so that leads me to believe that these storms should be able to, sustain themselves and keep themselves going for a good amount of time. But, whenever it comes to like tornadoes and stuff like that from a sounding like this, it just shows that small possibility, but honestly, really nothing significant. I wouldn't think that this would be anything too crazy to worry about. Now, like I said, I'm not expecting you guys to understand any of this on here, but let me tell you this. Whenever taking a look at this sounding here, I definitely do see a potential for hail, actually. Hail and even damaging winds. We have some rich dew points in our lower atmosphere, basically showing we have a lot of moisture available. And as we go up in altitude, right around our mid-atmosphere, we have a lot of energy. We have a lot of instability, which could really, really amplify hail growth. So I think that that's going to be one of the main problems. Honestly, I think hail is going to be a big issue, and once again, damaging winds and maybe a small tornado threat. Now, remember, that was taken there from northern Louisiana here for the evening of Monday. That was just a little sample of the atmosphere from that sounding. But once again, couple of tornadoes seems possible. I mean, obviously, this is still several days away. I mean, this is for April 8th, which it's about roughly 4 days, considering today's pretty much over. But you know what? Like I said, I mean, given everything, the instability, a good amount of energy in the atmosphere, and just given the fact that we do have ourselves, basically a lot of instability in our mid-atmosphere, like we were talking about, and all those other conditions. Once again, damaging winds and hail will be the main concerns, and we're still not really ruling out a potential for tornadic activity, but once again, it's not going to be anything to compare to yesterday or the day before. At least from what the models are showing now, it does not look like anything similar to that. So that is good news. But once again, hail, damaging winds, that could be a bit of an issue. So we'll definitely need to still keep an eye out there for that. Let's grab another sounding for the same time. Once again, this is right in the evening of Monday. We're going to grab one here for Eastern Texas. Now, regarding this sounding, the same thing is occurring. We have a little bit of lower level spin. Honestly, I don't see much tornadic concerns in that. But once again, I do see, a pretty big amount of instability in the mid-levels of the atmosphere here. Now, with that occurring and with those temperatures, rapidly dropping off, as you can see the temperature line here. So, by the way, if you haven't noticed already, this is altitude. So this is our ground level. This is up in the air. The red line is our temperature. So you can see the dotted line. So that is basically our parcel path here. And so what's going on there is basically, the further our temperature goes away from that blue line there, the more instability there is. Now, if that red line goes to the right of the line or to the right of the blue line, then it wouldn't be any instability. So I know it's a lot to take in, but, what we are noticing here, though, is that there is an increase in instability or unstable air between these areas here. In our mid-atmosphere, there's a lot of unstable air, and you can actually notice here with that temperature line, we actually have a rapid drop in temperatures. So because of that, that is going to allow for a lot of hail growth, a lot of pretty big hailstones, I'd say, could be possible, in a sounding like this, with a lot of instability or an increased amount of instability, as well as that sudden drop in the temperatures in our mid-atmosphere. That could definitely cause a bit of hail. So heads up there. Like I said, I grabbed that sounding just south of, actually a little bit west of Houston, I think is where I grabbed that sounding there. So just in that region there. Now let's go all the way up here to southern Illinois. Once again, this is for the evening of Monday, guys. Let's see. Mark, dude, coming in with a $5 super chat, man. Thank you so much, Mark. Appreciate that, dude. Saying respect. Respect back to you, Mark. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. They really didn't have to do that. Really did not have to do that. Okay, so once again, man, thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate that. So as we grab our sounding here for southern Illinois, just a sample in the atmosphere for the evening of Monday, kind of the middle evening of Monday. What I am noticing there is that, well, first of all, we don't have as much moisture in our lower atmosphere. Dew points are pretty low overall. I think there still could be some storms popping off in this environment as there's really not much of a cap. So things should be able to, freely convect. What I do notice is that those storm tops, the top of the storms are going to be a little bit lower. So regarding things, it's probably not going to be as crazy as those storms further down south. We have not as much instability as we do, say, for like areas by Texas, but we have enough to theoretically get some things going. Now, our winds, I've noticed, our wind speeds are actually a little bit higher the more you go up there towards the Ohio Valley, which could, easily organize those storms a little bit better. But once again, there's not as much instability in that area there. So we'll definitely watch out there for it. I mean, once again, this is for Monday. And like I was saying, the models, they're actually starting to show, really this big area of unstable air. And so basically out there between like Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, portions maybe even out there by like, western Tennessee, let's see, southeastern Missouri, southern Illinois, maybe even like northwestern areas of Alabama. We could have ourselves, once again, another widespread event regarding severe weather. But like I was saying, guys, the good news, hold your breath. No. Like I said, breathe easily, because like I said, it does not seem to be much of a tornado problem. While there could be some tornadoes on it, like I was saying, our lower level winds are actually pretty weak regarding this system. Now, this is a couple days away. There is still things that will be changing with this event. Once again, the winds could get a little stronger, but from what I'm seeing now for the evening of Monday, while there is the possibility, I think, of maybe some, weak tornadoes, it's not going to be anything to compare to what we saw here yesterday or the day before. So you guys can rest easy knowing that, at least as of now, there's not going to be much of a problem for tornadoes. While they're still possible, it's going to be relatively a low risk overall. But once again, the main problem I've noticed is, basically hail. Hail and damaging winds, those are going to be the main concerns here, obviously, for Monday. Now, let's actually hop up here to the Ohio Valley, or towards the Midwest here. You can actually see that, as we work our way over here into even, let's see here. So as we work our way over here, even into like the kind of the late evening, at this point, this is nighttime. So here for late Monday, once again, this is late Monday here, 0 Zulu, so that'd be like 8 p.m. Eastern, pretty sure. 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, so right around sunset overall. The models, or this model in particular, does show enough instability for potential thunderstorm activity working its way up there, even into Ohio. Now, that's obviously, going out on a limb here. Just know that, this is ever so changing. These models are not perfect. And, especially whenever forecasting, still several days out, expect things to change. There's going to be the potential of things changing over the next little bit. But yeah, at least as of now, like the GFS is showing that. The previous model before, I will mention, also does show that as well. So that's why I'm really mentioning this. It's just because of both of those runs, from the latest run of GFS and the previous run, they are both pretty much agreeing on the fact there that there is going to be enough instability to potentially allow for storms, maybe even out there by like Indiana here for late Monday. Now let's go ahead and grab a sounding. Like I said, there's not as much instability available in this environment here. We're going to grab one towards Indianapolis. So when it comes to it here, while I do think it's definitely possible for some thunderstorms, I don't think they're going to be that much of a concern. And honestly, given this environment, it will be hard for you to see a lot of severe thunderstorms. Given this, it just kind of looks like a normal thunderstorm sounding. We do have, once again, some pretty weak winds in our lower atmosphere, which is good. So tornadic activity should be minimal, so that's good. But given the fact we do have some pretty strong mid-level winds that could allow for those storms to organize themselves and potentially be long-lived, given there still is instability and not a cap in place. But yeah, it really just kind of seems like, just normal thunderstorms. I mean, maybe like a marginal risk potentially regarding severe weather. Nothing super, super wild. But once again, as we work our way down to the south here, though, out there by like Texas and Louisiana, Arkansas, portions by like Mississippi, maybe even like Alabama and, Tennessee here, we could get ourselves, more of that heavier stuff overall. So once again, like I said, this is here for the evening of Monday. So that is where all of that fuel is, all of that instability coming up here with this next system. And like I was saying, the good news, here's our lower level winds. I mean, they're not really exceeding 30 miles an hour, they're really not going too much higher than 30 miles an hour, which, for heavy tornadoes and stuff like that, you want at least 40 knots. I mean, we're seeing at most about 25, 30 knots, which, it doesn't seem like that much of a difference, but, that little amount of wind speeds can make a big difference. And as of right now, like I was saying, while we do have some lower level winds, it's relatively weak overall, which is good. So I don't think there would be like any, really strong tornadic activity or anything like that, but overall, that's definitely good. But our mid-level winds, obviously, they do increase, especially the more north you go. In these regions here, there's, at least 50 knots of winds, which will, once again, allow for those storms to organize themselves and all of that stuff. So I really do think we might be in a potential event here. Now, this is for Monday. Like I was saying, as of right now, we're going to hop you all back over here. So as of now, for Monday, we do have ourselves a risk. Now, the risk is only, as of right now, this is the official forecast from the Storm Prediction Center. As of the moment now, this is where the risk is for Monday, in which this includes like southern Oklahoma, southwestern Arkansas, northwestern Louisiana out there by Shreveport, and obviously like northern Texas, out there by like Dallas area, Dallas-Fort Worth region. So come Monday, obviously these areas are already in that risk regarding severe weather, but it seems like the models are obviously trending this to be a little bit more to the west here. So obviously for Monday, here for Monday, which is really interesting, I'm really not seeing much of a severe concern for some of those areas that's already in that convective outlook. Like for example, like southern Ohio. It's not Ohio. Southern Oklahoma. I'm really not seeing any instability out there for the evening of Monday. And even for the day before that, Sunday, there's really not a whole lot, which is honestly making me wonder why we actually have ourselves, overall a risk for some of those regions. Like I said, this is an ever so changing event. Things are going to be changing, but That's just kind of what it looks like. Now, I will mention, guys, and y'all are going to hate me for this. I know. This is for the day of the eclipse. Yeah, this is April 8th. And like I said, by the evening of April 8th, by the afternoon, evening of April 8th here, there is a possibility that a lot of these areas here that is in the, the totality area could be seeing cloud cover. It could be seeing severe weather, unfortunately. Now, let me bring you guys over to that real quickly. We're going to actually, they have an eclipse tab? What is this about? Huh. I didn't even notice they did that. Well, they got an eclipse tab. That's new. But let's actually hop over here to the models. We'll actually look at that and kind of see what's going on with all that mess. But like I was saying, unfortunately, that's going to be taking place there for the day of the eclipse. So let's hop down to cloud cover. We're going to look at the GFS model first, and then we'll look at some of those other models here. So yeah, as we work our way over here into the 8th, right around the eclipse, unfortunately, as you can actually see here, I'm not exactly sure what time the main eclipse is, but this is right around 18 Zulu, which is like kind of the late morning, early afternoon. And so the blue is representing cloud cover. I know it's weird. You think the white would be cloud cover, but no, the blue is representing cloud cover. And unfortunately, you can see throughout the totality path there, all of Texas potentially is covered in clouds according to this model. Same thing for areas out there by like Arkansas. Maybe a little bit of break there towards the Midwest, but the Northeast seems to have the best potential for viewing out there by like northern New York State, portions out there by like Maine. So once again, I mean, that's one model, that's one run. So let's hop to a different model, like the ECMWF, and we'll take a look at the Euro and see what this one shows. It's obviously good to gather as many opinions as possible. So the European model here regarding it, well, kind of shows a relatively similar but a little bit of a different story. So first of all, my folks down there in Texas, we're still seeing a bunch of cloud cover. This model wants there to be less clouds out there by the Ohio Valley. Specifically like Ohio, really not a lot of clouds going on for that time. Once again, I'm not exactly sure. Can somebody look that up? Does anybody know what time the main eclipse is going to be happening for like the central country? If you could let me know, that would be very, very helpful. But yeah, I mean, obviously clouds do build into much of the regions here, later on after. So yeah, unfortunately, it does look like, that system will be popping off there right around the eclipse, which is just terrible, just unfortunate. So here's a blend of models. This kind of takes a bunch of models and blends them together. And regarding the eclipse here, yeah, I mean, you can see that the majority of the models do show a lot of cloud cover out there by like the southern plains. Maybe a bit of a break out there by the Ohio Valley, but still likely could be a little bit of cloud cover there. In the northeast here, relatively the same, maybe a little bit of less cloud cover, but unfortunately to my folks down there towards like Texas, it's still an early view. Now, obviously, this is still pretty early, guys, but it does kind of seem possible that relatively there could be just a lot of clouds overall. So, I mean, we're getting to the point now where it's becoming a little bit more clear to us regarding the weather we could see for the day of. But, there is still going to be some changes. Obviously, at this point, we're starting to get near the mid-range models. So I'll be doing a whole forecast or a whole eclipse forecast and stuff like that whenever, obviously, we get next to this event here. So here obviously, the eclipse here is for what, Monday? I believe. Is it Monday? Or is it Tuesday? Hold on a minute. I think it's Monday, right? Yeah, Monday. Okay, so yeah, for Monday, I'll get a forecast out there probably on Saturday. Probably do another one on Sunday. That way, you guys can just have a full-on area to show where those clouds are going to be and all that stuff. But anyways, all right, y'all, let's go and hop on back over here. So yeah, this is what we were talking about. So this is for April 8th, the day of the eclipse. And unfortunately, like I was saying, this potential for severe weather, this is right around the afternoon, evening here of Monday. And you can actually see that we have just this big area of instability. Now, this does not always mean that there will be thunderstorms, but, this is basically the fuel that is needed for thunderstorms to happen. And, given the fact that we do have a lot of instability down there towards like Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, some of those regions as of this model here, like I said, I mean that could be, you know, a bit of widespread thunderstorm activity, which unfortunately would allow for a lot of cloud obstruction. So we'll keep an eye out there for that. Now the good news, like I was saying, guys, you know, there's that big system. Well, first of all, you can see that low pressure system here for the evening of April 8th, or kind of the afternoon, I should say. Sorry. Of April 8th, we got ourselves that, you know, that low pressure system over the upper Midwest by like southeastern portions of Minnesota, out there by like northeastern portions of Iowa, southwestern portions here, Wisconsin. Overall, now, the good news, like I was saying, at least as of now, regarding the tornado probability of things, while there is going to be, I think, the possibility for some tornadoes down there, they're not going to be anything significant. And honestly, if we do get tornadoes, they're going to be relatively weak, at least from what I'm seeing now. Now, once again, things are going to be ever so changing. You know, we're going to have ourselves, you know, some changes by the time we reach these days here, but as of now, there's really not a crazy lower level jet or anything like that. There is, but that's before all the convection happens. As you can see, instability. I mean, this is for late Sunday. This isn't even for the 8th, but I mean, maybe here for late Sunday, there could be a little bit of activity out there by some of those similar areas here. You know, maybe just a little bit of a risk there for late Sunday. And given this environment, yeah, the winds are a little more stronger. And honestly, I think this would be a better environment for tornadic activity here for late Sunday. But for the widespread event regarding Monday, which is the eclipse day, honestly, I think it's going to be relatively, you know, more widespread and stuff like that. Let's see here. Do I think Indiana will have a shot at severe weather this upcoming week? I mean, yeah, given the way the models are talking here, I mean, there is a possibility here for late Monday that there could be enough instability to allow for storms to pop off and then, you know, up there by Indiana. The good news, like I said, we grabbed a sounding already out there by Indianapolis, which we'll go ahead and grab another one. Just basically a sample of the atmosphere, taking a look at things. The good news is that it does not look like it would be very severe at all. It would look like more towards strong thunderstorms, perhaps an isolated severe storm. More than likely, this would be like kind of like a marginal risk. I mean, just given this environment here, there's not that much instability, and you know, like I said, our low-level moisture dew points are pretty low, which, you know, these storms are going to struggle a little bit from what it looks like, but you know, probably not going to be anything super wild. But the more south you go, like we were mentioning there, you know, the more abundance you have of instability or unstable air out there, and basically, you know, the greater potential for severe thunderstorm activity. Now, a sounding, I think that was eastern Texas I grabbed there. While there is a curvature in our hodograph, which is representing that the winds are, you know, changing directions. So, for example, here, so this is our atmosphere level. So this is our surface. So think of this as the ground level here, guys. That blue line. So this is altitude, right? So just reference that. So as we go up in altitude here, our winds are actually kind of, you know, our winds are kind of almost going northwest a little bit, but you can see how they change directions and eventually turn to the northeast. So that change in wind direction, obviously in our lower atmosphere, can create spin, and can create some, you know, supercells, rotating thunderstorms, which potentially could obviously lead to some tornadoes. But the good news about that, like I was saying, is that, you know, our winds are pretty weak. I mean, even though they are turning like they should be for for tornadic activity, while the wind direction is in place, the wind speeds themselves is not very strong, in which that would allow for the possibility for some weak tornadoes, like I was mentioning. But, you know, regarding like the super significant stuff, you know, like some of the activity we've seen yesterday, it's not going to be comparable. It's really not. So that's good news, at least. But more the problem that I actually see with this event here is you can actually look at the mid atmosphere here. So our temperature actually crashes. Once we get our way up here towards the mid-atmosphere, the temperatures really drop. And there's actually a lot of instability because of that. You know, that sudden drop in that temperature allows for a little bit more instability to be gathered across our mid-atmosphere. Now, this just so happens to be the hail growth zone. And unfortunately, that's kind of where, you know, we get a lot of hail development and stuff like that. So I'm really leaning towards the fact that this is going to be a potential of some big hail, for one. And also, you can't see it because my face cam's in the way, but there's something we call D-Cape, which is downdraft Cape, and we're pushing over 1,000, which basically what that is meaning is that there's a possibility, just given all the other ingredients as well and everything that we're looking at here, of damaging winds. You know, damaging winds and hail, I think that's going to be our main problem there. Let's see here. So you're saying I need to go over my flight plans for Sunday and Monday. So obviously right now I wouldn't make any adjustments to your plans, regarding like the eclipse and stuff like that. But you will definitely need to be monitoring over the next couple of days because, like I was saying, we're pretty much at April 4th here now because today's pretty much over. And what that would mean is just 4 more days until the eclipse. And at that point, we have a much better understanding of what to expect for the day of the eclipse. So, yeah, we'll definitely just need to be watching out there for that. And, obviously, from the way things have been looking for the last little bit, it does look like, unfortunately, we're going to have a bit of a severe weather concern across a lot of the regions here, potentially all the way down there from Texas, shooting up maybe even there towards, Indiana, maybe Ohio. So, once again, some widespread severe thunderstorm activity is definitely possible. But once again, good news. Tornadoes shouldn't be too much of a big problem. While there will be the potential for a couple of them from what the models are looking like right now, they're going to be relatively weak, considering we have some pretty weak lower level winds, which wouldn't really support for super, super strong rotation. But our mid-level winds are, kind of decent still. But we'll definitely watch out there for that. Now, there is one thing I do want to do with you guys. I want to go ahead and bring you all over here to the European model. Obviously, it's good, like I was saying, to get more than one opinion because, you can't be biased to one model, of course, because if you look at one model, that model, obviously you need to kind of compare to a different model. You need to kind of see where we're agreeing and where we're disagreeing here. So the European model, the ECMWF here, let's actually hop down to the 12 Zulu long range run. Regarding this system here, unfortunately, it kind of agrees on the fact that we could have a bit of that instability, obviously, as we work our way over here into let's see here. Let's try to work this over here at that same time here. So right around the evening of the 8th here. The good news is it actually does not show as much instability. So here's your big difference here. While the main model, like the GFS, was showing a lot of that potential instability over the Ohio Valley, this model only has that in kind of a lot more lower to the south, more isolated there towards like Texas. So, but honestly, yeah, a bit more instability according to this model down there in Texas overall. So with that being said, I mean, obviously there is a bit of differences and there is some things that we need to work out there. But, at least for the South, this is actually pretty confident. And that's actually why the Storm Prediction Center did not extend that 15% chance regarding severe weather here that's in place for Monday. That's why they didn't extend it up into the Northeast because, well, the models are still kind of like a little bit all over the place here. So, but at least for Texas, man, it definitely looks like it's more possible. So we have the big system rolling out there. We have another system rolling in here for obviously the 8th, unfortunately. And once again, actually the good news is that the model here as well, it's not just the GFS, but we actually do have ourselves, like I said, not that much wind shear. Our low level winds are not that strong. So whatever storm does fire off in that environment, while there is theoretically still a possibility for a couple of tornadoes, once again, they're going to be on the weak side, and the European model also agrees with that in terms of maybe even weaker wind shear for the most part. So really not a lot of potential regarding that and regarding the tornadic activity. Now let's see, what about our mid-level winds here? Whenever it comes to it, yeah, so our mid-level winds are actually pretty decent. I mean, it's going to be enough to get those storms rolling. It's going to be enough to get those storms kicking off there, and relatively long-lived more than likely, but their severity regarding tornadic activity is going to be nothing to compare, like I was saying, to that last event overall. But yeah, so let me actually bring you all over here real quickly. We're going to hop over to the SPC, Storm Prediction Center. So we actually have ourselves a couple of days worth regarding severe weather. So this is the official forecast here from the Storm Prediction Center. So this is for Sunday. Here for Sunday, the Storm Prediction Center has a risk regarding severe weather out there towards portions of kind of south central Nebraska, portions out there by pretty much the entire central state here of Kansas. Same thing for Oklahoma, and maybe even a little portion out there by Texas. Now, this is equivalent to a slight risk, a severe threat level 2 out of 5, like we were talking about. This is equivalent to a slight risk, which is a decent chance for severe weather. Now, they don't actually issue those scale scales from 1 to 5 this far out because, there's going to be so much changes in the convective outlook that it's just not even worth it. We get like the full outlook, 3 days before the event. Now, whenever it comes to it, like I said, still, this is equivalent right around to a slight risk at severe threat level 2 out of 5 here for Saturday, my bad, y'all. So for Saturday, across these regions here, there's going to be that potential for severe weather. Now, for Sunday, like I was saying, there's no risk as of now. And then, obviously, we work way over here into Monday, which is the eclipse day. And, of course, as of right now, the Storm Prediction Center has highlighted areas out there in southern Oklahoma, portions out there by, northeastern, kind of northern portions here of Texas, southwestern Arkansas, northwestern portions here of Louisiana. So you guys, as of now, is in the risk regarding the potential for severe weather come Monday, which is, once again, the day of the eclipse here. So definitely, we need to watch out there towards the south specifically. Once again, the models, they're still a little iffy as we obviously compared the GFS and the European model, but it definitely does seem like severe weather will be a concern for the southern plains out there. So to my folks down south, out there by Texas and, some of the surrounding states, we'll definitely need to watch it, and of course, one of the main models, the GFS here, the long-range American model, does show a abundance of instability and potential thunderstorm activity going all the way down from Texas, maybe even up there towards the Ohio Valley for portions of like the late afternoon into the evening here of Tuesday. So we'll definitely watch out there for that. Once again, our mid-level winds, they're good enough to support, other severe concerns, in which I personally do think, guys, as of right now, regarding the hazards of this event, I really believe that it's just going to be between damaging winds and hail from what I'm seeing as of now. Now, once again, I mentioned this before many times. There will be the potential, I think, of a couple, tornadoes. I think there will be that potential down there towards the southern plains, but given what the models are showing in the lack of winds in our lower atmosphere, if we do get any tornadic activity, more than likely it'll be short-lived, meaning not like long track, nothing long track. But also relatively weak too, because like I was saying, our lower atmosphere here, the winds for for a big event, like I said, for the last event, for example, we had those lower level winds about 50 knots or larger. We were talking 50, 60 knot lower level jet. And the lower level jet for this event is about 20 knots, about 20 to 30 knots maximum. So you can kind of see there's a big difference, and you really cannot compare this last event to this upcoming event because they do not compare this in the slightest. They really do not. So tornadic activity, once again, don't worry, guys. It should be relatively minimal, at least from what the models are showing as of now. Now, we still have a couple of days for the models to trend otherwise. Not saying they will, but there is enough time for things to change there. But, as of now, the good news, like I said, that you guys don't have to worry about, like I said, is much of tornadic activity. But, like I said, where it does become a bit of a concern, as we've grabbed several soundings here, we'll grab another one from Texas. And what we've actually learned by taking these soundings is it really looks like we're going to have a potential out there for essentially a lot of hail. Honestly, a lot of hail. Now, you can see that there is a little bit of spin in our lower atmosphere, which once again, I was saying that there is no tornado threat, but low tornado threat, relatively weak because looking at like our relative helicity, which is a way to measure that cyclonic updraft potential, typically 200 plus could survive or allow for some strong, I would call it kind of like mid to strong tornadic activity, 200 plus usually, in which we're less than 100 from our surface of 3 kilometer storm relative helicity. So, like I said, there's not enough wind shear in our lower atmosphere to really get things going here. It's honestly good news, in which if we did have tornadic activity, it would be pretty weak overall. But damaging winds, though, damaging winds and hail, honestly, I do see being a bit of an issue here out there for Monday, out there by Texas. So, we'll definitely keep an eye out there for that. Here we go, guys. We actually just got a new update on today's outlook, my friend. So I am happy to tell you guys, whenever it comes to it, like I said, this last big event we just had, I am happy to tell you that it is pretty much done. Here's the latest outlook. Just have a little margin out there in eastern Virginia and stuff like that. So honestly, my folks out there, regarding this last event that we had, this crazy, crazy severe weather event, things are looking better. Things are looking a lot better. In which, once again, this upcoming event too is not going to be as crazy. From what I'm seeing, as of now, it's not going to be as crazy as this event that we just had. So, like I said, it'll be all right, guys. Overall, I think we'll be relatively fine. I think as of now, looking in the long range, once again, with still things to change, hail, damaging winds, I think that's our main problem. But we'll definitely keep an eye on it. Let's see, a person coming in here with $5 donation, my friend. Thank you so much, a person. Appreciate that. Saying, hope you're having a good day. I'm having a pretty good day. I hope you're having a good day as well, my friend. Thank you for the 5. Saying also, what I think will be happening weather-wise in West Virginia. Good question, my friend. So, obviously, yeah, West Virginia got slammed with this last event here, unfortunately. Now, when it comes to West Virginia, there's not enough support to really show anything crazy going on up there. I'm not really expecting any super, super wild weather up in West Virginia for anytime soon. We'll need to, we'll definitely keep an eye out there for it, and if anything does come up to concern for that region, I'll let you know. However, it kind of looks like that there might even be a bit of snow for you guys. I mean, if you consider that severe weather, I was talking more thunderstorms, but it looks like a bit of snow for those upper elevations could be a possibility. It just depends on exactly where you're at in West Virginia. So basically what's going on here, here's actually the current radar view. This is the overall radar view right now. You can actually see this really strong low pressure system right now that's kicking up out there by northwestern Indiana, out there by southwestern portions of Michigan. So we do have, like I said, a very, very strong cyclone here. You can see that very obvious counterclockwise circulation on it. And so what's actually happening here is, first of all, let me zoom out just a little bit more here overall. So what is happening on this event as the big scale goes, we have a lot of that warm air that's basically pulling up ahead of that front. So that's bringing up a lot of, warm air overall and, really just driving up a lot of, moisture and humidity. And on the back end side here overall, we're actually getting colder air coming down from Canada, which is definitely helping build in some stability, which is obviously removing that severe weather potential that we just had. But, it'll actually cool down enough to potentially allow for, a little bit of snowfall, out there towards those regions there. So we'll definitely be looking out there for it. Let's see. Weather on the go, man. Thank you so much for the 10. I appreciate that, dude. Saying boom. You didn't have to do that, brother. Thank you so much. That is very, very sweet of you. Weather on the go, obviously. He's a really good weather YouTuber as well. Check him out, as of course. He's definitely helped me out a lot. I've shown some love to him as well. Obviously, he's a really good person to go to as well for weather updates, so go ahead and check him out as well. But thank you, man. I appreciate that. You didn't have to do that. Also, dude, check your email, because I actually sent an email the other day about the Discord thing if you wanted to check that out. I mean, obviously, if you don't want to, don't worry about it. But just want to let you know about that. But anyways, dude, thank you, man, for the 10. That is awesome, dude. You absolutely rock, man. Big, big shout out goes to you. But thank you. Thank you much. Appreciate that. But, yeah, so like I was saying, there is going to be a bit of snowfall potential. Let's actually bring you all back over to the models here. Out there towards, some of those upper elevations of West Virginia. And even a bit of lake effect, lake effect snow, because of that cold air moving over the warm Great Lakes. Basically starts those snow generators there and potentially allowing for, some snow to start occurring up there towards, the Great Lakes region. So this would include, Ohio, portions out there by New York State, Pennsylvania, and like I was saying, some of that remaining moisture and that cooler air is going to allow for a bit of snowfall, even out there towards those upper elevations of the Appalachians. But yeah, so that's that. I really don't think there's going to be a whole lot. Let's see. Let me actually look at the blend of models here. This is just a quick way for me to look at, roughly what the models are kind of looking at. Regarding snowfall potential. So let me bring up the Ohio Valley here. I'm just kind of curious to see how much snow we could see on this event. Yeah, so not a whole lot. It kind of looks like in those wow, wait a minute. Okay, so for some of those mountains up there, and obviously the peaks of West Virginia, it really looks like we might have the possibility of seeing up to a foot, maybe. Let's check some other models here. Obviously, I want to kind of get all the model opinions here. Wow. Okay, GFS shows that too. Over a foot of snow in those upper elevations. Let's try European model. Okay, European's kind of the outcast here, but it does show still a lot of snow. So here's the thing, my friend. Whenever it comes to it, we obviously need to watch out there for those upper elevations, as, you know, once again, obviously there's going to be that potential for snow. So don't let that sidetrack, because obviously you guys just got some severe weather, so you're thinking that you're out of the snow, but you're not. It really does look like we're going to be seeing a bit more snow activity out there. Did not get my email, just check. Oh, shoot. Okay, here's the thing, man. Go in our description of this live stream. You can join our Discord server, and then you can add me. You'll find me. It's pretty easy to spot me in my Discord. So if you wanted to, I mean, like I said, just go in our description, you know, click on our Discord link, and should be able to do it that way. It's up to you, man. It's up to you. But once again, man, I appreciate that. Let's see here. But yeah, so just once again, for my upper elevations out there in the upper side here of West Virginia, watch out for that. Regarding, hold on a minute. We might have a pretty decent winter storm going up here in the Northeast. Wow, dude. Yeah, it's actually ongoing. Obviously, this is from this big low pressure system. I mean, I've seen this thing going on here for a little bit. Obviously, yeah, you can see there's a lot of snow up there in the Northeast right now, out there by like New York State, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, a bit of Connecticut maybe. But you know what? We're talking over a foot here. Over a foot of snow across a lot of these areas here. With some areas maybe 2 feet or more. Let's see, GFS. Wow, dude, GFS showing 30 plus inches in some areas of like western Maine, eastern, what is that, New Hampshire? Wow, man. Okay, yeah, we're talking some serious snowfall out there. Let's see here. But yeah, all right, y'all, we're gonna hop on back over here to the severe weather side of things. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that real quickly. It's definitely pretty interesting. So, first of all, let me actually show you guys the outlooks here, and then we'll dive back on into the models regarding things. So as we work over into day 4, which day 4 is on Saturday. So coming up here on this Saturday, my friends, as of right now, we do have ourselves a severe weather risk or a severe weather concern out there by south central Nebraska, portions out there by like central Kansas, obviously, central Oklahoma, and a little sliver up there in kind of northeastern Texas. We have ourselves a 15% chance regarding severe weather. So heads up to you guys out there regarding that. We'll hop to the models real quickly, and then we'll talk about, obviously, Monday's risk here, too, after that. But yeah, let's hop on over here. We're going to take a look and see what's going on with all that mess. But yeah, so once again, this upcoming threat for, like I was saying, for, what is it, Saturday. Yeah, this Saturday here, that includes basically some of these portions, roughly, obviously. This is not perfect, but some of those regions out there coming up there for Saturday. Now, let's see. We'll take a look at the instability and all that stuff. So when it comes to it, man, yeah, for late. Oh, okay, I can kind of see where they're going with this. So yeah, there is that really strong, or that sudden low pressure there you can kind of see developing out there kind of in the northeastern side of Colorado, southwestern Nebraska. We get ourselves a low that gets kicked up there, which does ultimately drive some instability. Now, is it a lot? Not really. There's not a whole lot of instability, but obviously it should be enough to get things going here. It should be enough to get things going here. Let's look at those lower level winds, which, yeah, that's what I'm a little concerned about. So even though we have, pretty low instability, even though we really don't have that much unstable air in the atmosphere, our lower level winds are definitely strong enough to support, unfortunately, maybe some tornadoes and stuff. Let's go ahead and grab a sounding there. We're going to take a look and see what's going on. Let's see here. Andrew, my drawing skills are better than mine. I have terrible drawing skills. I have no idea what you're talking about. All right, Okay, so first thing I noticed are dew points. They're pretty low, but honestly, I've noticed that dew points can be lower out there by like Colorado and stuff, or just by the Central Plains, I should say. Yeah, our wind shear though is actually pretty strong, but this is a pretty contaminated sounding. So we're gonna grab another one here. Let me bring up first of all, let me bring up the precipitation. We'll do simulated radar here. Oh, wow. Yeah, storms really do fire off there. Look at that. So this is for the afternoon and moving into the evening of evening of Saturday. It looks like we get, pretty nasty kind of cold front. Line of storms there popping off. Let's see your instability, though. Like I said, the instability seems pretty low end, but we'll wait and see how that holds up. Yeah, let's grab a sounding out there towards like central Kansas, just to kind of see what's going on. I did not, Joey. I did not see that. Okay, so here's one of our soundings we just grabbed. So yeah, storm tops are going to be pretty low for one, but yeah, our winds are pretty strong considering that we do have ourselves that low pressure system developing literally not far away from that convection. So those winds are going to definitely be amplified. I mean, we're talking like our lower level wind shear here, or obviously our lower level jet here between like 50 and maybe like 60 knots in some areas. And our mid level jet's going to be like 80 knots, which our winds are pretty strong for this event here. But once again, what I'm a little concerned about is just the lack of instability there. Now, when it comes to sometimes on the nose of these low pressure systems, you can actually get some of your heaviest activity up there on the nose of that low pressure. Let's go and take a look at this environment here. Just kind of see, because it's wrapping up a lot of instability up on that kind of northeast quadrant. Oh my gosh. That is definitely a little weird. Dude, that photograph goes nuts. That is a really weird sounding. That is very weird. So yeah, once again, like I was saying, those dew points can be lower given altitude. Man. We do obviously have that veering wind shear, which would support some tornadic activity, I think. But once again, I don't think it'll be anything super, super crazy. We'll definitely just see how this plays out. I mean, obviously this is still still a couple days away here. We'll learn more about this event as we get a little closer. Let's see here. The severe weather outbreak is done for now. Yes, my friend, it is. I am definitely thankful for that. I'm sure you guys are as well, man. So yeah, here's what's left of that severe weather activity going on here. So this is what we got going on. I mean, obviously, we just got the last of those watches expired here a couple hours ago, so that's good. We no longer have any watches out there from this event, so that's good news. We got still a few storms out there towards Florida. Out by where I'm at, it's been pretty rainy today, pretty nasty day out there for us in Central Florida. But we got a couple more cells out there in the eastern mid-Atlantic. They actually just updated the convective outlook here not too long ago. In which we still have, let's see, I'll actually bring it up over here. We still have a little marginal risk regarding severe weather today. Just a little area out there, like southern Delaware, like southern Maryland, portions of like southeastern Virginia, and a little sliver of northeastern portions of North Carolina. We got ourselves just a little severe weather concern. Now, tornado probability, we actually do still have a little bit of a tornado chance out there towards like the Virginia Beach area, with a couple of these cells that are firing off out there just south of Richmond. With all that going on there, there's a very small possibility that we could get ourselves maybe an isolated tornado. But once again, the odds are pretty low regarding that. With hail and all, we still have a 5% chance, but hail should basically not be any larger than quarter size. I mean, if it does, it's definitely not going to be anything larger than 2 inches. I'll tell you that. It's going to be under 2 inches for sure. But Of course, damaging winds is also a concern. So it's still a triple threat, but it's just a very low threat overall. Honestly, I wouldn't really worry about it because yeah, I mean everything's just kind of squeezing out right now, which is good news. But yeah, that's going to be the last of the severe weather. Here's actually the current radar view in like southeastern Virginia. We do got a couple special marine warnings here for the southern Chesapeake. But regarding things like looking at rotation or looking out for rotation and stuff, honestly, yeah, it looks pretty good. These storms definitely don't look like they're rotating or anything like that. Honestly, their velocities are pretty weak. I'm not gonna lie. So, I mean, I think we're mostly good. I think we're definitely good, and that was the last of the severe weather here. Yeah, I mean, they completely removed even the threat out there for Florida. I mean, there's no longer even a marginal out there no more. It's just literally a thunderstorm threat. So, y'all, we are looking pretty good. We are definitely looking pretty well regarding the or this event here. But of course, we are starting to have a bit of a problem regarding like snowfall and stuff like that. Yeah, we still have that issue, but we could see, some areas maybe 1-2 feet out in some regions. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little hefty on the snow side, which, let's see, I'll actually bring up the accumulations real quickly. So here is our expected accumulations here over the next 72 hours. And, yeah, so this is the official forecast. You can see across like that pink there. There's a possibility we could get, like I said, over 2 foot of snow. Even for my folks up there, possibly even towards the Smoky Mountains, western portions here of North Carolina. We definitely could get up to maybe half a foot in some areas there. Out there for like, eastern West Virginia there, we could definitely see, also over a foot in some of those regions even. It's definitely a little snowy up there in the Northeast, in which, we'll definitely, need to consider that, considering there's a lot of it too, with really the heaviest of this whole mess, being pretty much just in central northern New York State, all the way from like northern Massachusetts, going through Vermont, going through New Hampshire, and through Maine. As of now, the heaviest of the snow is going to be right there between like eastern New Hampshire and like western Maine overall. So, yeah, that's going to be pretty significant for sure regarding that snowfall activity. There's no snow out in Columbus, K-Day. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a couple flakes because, like I said, we're getting that cool air coming down from the north here. On the backside of that cyclone, or on the backside of that frontal system I was talking about. So, yeah, you can see that spin basically just driving a lot of cooler air down into the Ohio Valley, which, some of that could definitely be a bit of snow. And, of course, the upper elevations of the west. I mean, we always see crazy snow up there. So, when do I think the Great Lakes will see severe weather episode? I mean, honestly, we've already seen severe weather out there in like Ohio. I mean, we're close. I mean, honestly, April this month, good possibility. We did have a little bit of a risk out there in like southern Michigan. I think we've already had severe weather concerns up there towards Wisconsin and stuff. So I mean, literally at any time, yeah. Literally at any time. So this month, I think, is a good possibility. Kevin says, thank you for covering New York and New England weather. We get forgotten when tornadoes form, which is understandable. Yeah, I hear you, my friend. I try to update everything as a whole. Obviously, like I said, we're still watching out for severe weather, another round of it. From the way it looks, like I was saying, guys, regarding severe weather and all that stuff coming up here. So this is part of our next severe weather event, which will start on Saturday. So this Saturday, guys, we are going to start to see the beginning of this event overall. So out there in south central Nebraska, obviously like central portions of Kansas, central Oklahoma, and portions of like northeastern, Texas there. Just got to watch out for severe weather Saturday. Sunday, there's no risk, but we work our way into Monday here. Monday, we do have ourselves another risk, which is the eclipse day. So a risk for severe weather up there by like northeastern Texas, like southeastern kind of southern portions here of Oklahoma, southwestern Arkansas, and like I said, northwestern Louisiana out there by like Shreveport area. As of now, is in the risk area. So just a bit of a heads up for you folks out there, as obviously severe weather is going to be a good possibility, in which it is expected, unfortunately. And of course, like I said, out of all days during the eclipse day, it seems quite possible. And that's actually whenever the next storm system is going to be rolling through. Like I said, I really, really hate to tell you guys the bad news, but it does look like there is going to be a lot of places that will have some cloud cover overall. So, but once again, I mean, we'll definitely overall. Oh wow, interesting. Yeah, look at this. It's actually pretty interesting. Yeah, so whenever it does come to the point being regarding the eclipse and stuff, it seems like we're going to have the greatest potential of clouds down south. So if you live out there by like Texas and stuff, unfortunately, more than likely it's going to be cloudy. Possibly towards the Midwest, Ohio Valley will be pretty cloudy too. The greatest potential for viewing, I think, is going to be up there in the Northeast, but that's still a subject to change. I mean, we're getting closer to the event, of course, which is going to allow for model runs and the overall forecast to be a lot more sharper and a lot more better to look at. But unfortunately, like I was saying, though, it really does seem like the southern sides of the country is going to be pretty cloudy, unfortunately. Let's see. Did I hear about the tornadoes in northeast Illinois on Tuesday? It was random, but I saw it coming from the HRR that morning. I did not hear about that. I know we had a lot of tornadoes. Honestly, it's kind of hard to keep up with all of them that we got. Yeah, we got a lot of tornado activity, unfortunately. Let's see here. Carissa says, Andrew, I almost sent you a video to make you laugh. It was of a mailbox that survived one of the tornadoes in Ohio, but unfortunately the house was gone. Oh, interesting. So the mailbox survived, but apparently the house didn't? How is that even possible? Oh, man. Let's see. J-Man says, we had severe weather on February 27th here in the Great Lakes. I remember waking up to like 1:30 a.m. loud thunderstorm. We had severe thunderstorm warnings as well. Record high for the month. Yeah, I do remember some storms up there, up in the upper portions of the north, pretty early. So, to whoever was saying that, when they'll get severe weather up in the upper Great Lakes, it's already been happening. It's, for this month, definitely, considering that April is one of the big months for severe weather, obviously, this is going to be quite likely that we'll see some severe weather up there. One strong mailbox. Yeah, sounds like it. All right, feel better, J-Man. Anyways, y'all, but yeah, so that's just kind of what we wanted to go over there regarding things. Like I said, at this point, really going into deep analysis again. At this point, it's still a little far down the line. There's really not much more I can tell you regarding this event. I mean, I basically went over everything regarding it. I mean, as of now, we got those risk areas from the Storm Prediction Center, so we are expecting severe weather to start Saturday. Sunday, I'd say yes. There's also going to be potential for severe weather Sunday. There's no risk right now, but Monday there is. So Saturday and Monday there's risk, but Sunday's kind of sandwiched between, which, also looking at the models out there, it does seem like Sunday potentially could have severe weather as well. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. And of course, with the eclipse and stuff like that coming up here too, I am going to be just continuously giving you guys updates and all kinds of stuff like that. So we'll be here for you guys. Definitely be here for you guys. Let's see. Zach, dude, coming in here with a $10 super chat, man. Thank you so much, Zach. I appreciate that. Saying, appreciate the coverage. What does Southwest Louisiana look like in the next week? Well, first of all, Zach, man, thank you for the 10. You definitely didn't have to do that. Let's go ahead and take a look out there. Go ahead and hop to the models and all that stuff. So, yeah, let's take a look at that. But thank you, man. I appreciate that, Zach. You definitely didn't have to do all that. So, obviously, yeah, regarding the event here that we just had, this is rolling out. Let's see here. We'll go a little bit further down in time. So, at least from now until Sunday, we're not expecting much. Let's see. We'll pull up the GFS model here, which is obviously just to look at things. It looks like, okay, we might have a little open window of, some instability for severe weather for late Sunday or kind of the afternoon, evening of Sunday. There's going to be, like I said, according to GFS here, a bit of unstable air over the state of Louisiana. You said southwest, so that barely includes southwest Louisiana. Obviously, you can't, you got to take these models with a grain of salt. Given this, it's still a couple days away, but for Sunday, it's possible. Lower level winds appear pretty weak, so I wouldn't worry about any like super strong tornado activity or anything like that. Mid-level winds are obviously strong enough to allow for those storms to continue and basically, just to continue and thrive over a while. So. Yeah, our mid-level winds definitely support it. Lower-level winds don't really support anything tornadic. I'm going to grab a sounding just because why not here in like north-central Louisiana just to kind of look and see what we got going on here. So we'll wait for that to load here. So here's a sounding. We got some pretty good dew points. 65-degree dew point, which is good for severe weather. It's typically the range you want it. Once again, lower level winds are pretty weak. We do have a little bit of a wind directional change, so that would be good for obviously the direction for tornadic activity. The winds start as northeasterlies, and obviously as we go up in the altitude, they change more to the east. So that change in winds, that change in wind speed, obviously could allow the atmosphere to be set up to allow for, like I said, maybe some weak tornadoes. I'm not expecting any large tornadoes or anything significant. I'm not expecting, but given it and how weak these lower level winds are, if we did get tornadic activity, it would more than likely be short-lived and just weak in general, which is good news. But yeah, honestly, your main concern that I am seeing here would most likely be damaging winds, and maybe even a little bit of hail included with that sounding as well. But honestly, nothing super concerning, to be honest with you. It looks just like a kind of a strong thunderstorm, maybe to low in severe thunderstorm activity. But yeah, that's just, once again, it's still a subject to change. I mean, actually, that wasn't even the latest model. This is the latest one here. Let's actually take a look at this model. We'll grab one towards like central Louisiana just to kind of get a look at things here. We'll see what's going on there. Let's see if there's any really big differences. Honestly, not really. We still got that slight wind directional change, but once again, our lower level winds are pretty weak. And while we do have that curvature to our photograph, which is showing that winds, that lower level wind directional change and that lower level potential of rotation, it's weak. So once again, anything regarding winds and stuff like that, anything regarding like wind speeds and wind directions, this would allow for like weak tornadic activity and pretty short-lived. But once again, I think damaging winds would be like a main concern for the type of sounding like that, just by briefly glimpsing over it. So yeah, not really too big of a concern. I mean, we'll see how that plays out, but yeah, that's gonna be for like the afternoon, pretty much like early mid-afternoon, into the evening here. But also, here's the thing, my friend, for Monday, as of now, it looks like you might have another setup for potential of severe weather here for Monday, which is the eclipse day, unfortunately. That's kind of what we're watching out for. We're going to definitely keep an eye on it. There's a lot more instability available for Monday. But once again, the winds are pretty weak still. Kind of the same thing holds, mostly just winds and maybe some, hail. But yeah, really honestly, nothing too wild. All right, let's see here. But yeah, so that's that. Well, once again, man, thank you for the 10. I appreciate that, my friend. Really wanting the depth there for you, Zach, but I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the support, guys. Like I said, know that your donations will definitely go to a good place, help keep me alive for one, but also help pay for these programs we use on the channel here to, just help you guys out. So in the long run, you're really helping yourself out too by the donations and stuff. But like I said, y'all definitely do not have to donate or anything like that. Like I said, just y'all being here and being weather updated, that's all we care about. Let's see here. Kevin says, I love how Andy interacts with his viewers, an aspect you don't get with other forecasters on YouTube. Love you, Andy. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that, my friend. Definitely do appreciate that. And, once again, whenever weather is crazy or whenever weather is not doing anything, we're going to be here for you, regarding things. Every day, like I said, I try to go live every day to give you all an update and to let you guys know what's going on out there. And unfortunately, or the good news, I should say, that the event we just had roll through, it's done. It's gone. But unfortunately, we're setting up for maybe another severe thunderstorm activity. It doesn't look as bad, obviously, as this one we just had. Nothing really to compare. But it looks like another shot for severe weather, this time in the Central Plains. So, we'll see. Let's see here. Oh, happy birthday, Ohio. Yeah, mine was just here yesterday. Had to do some coverage on my birthday, unfortunately. It's always the best. Always, man. Let's see. Could we have a significant severe threat for East Texas next week? So, yeah, that's actually kind of what we were watching for, my friend. As of now, let's see here. I mean, as of now, it seems like the majority of the threat will be for eastern Texas. But there still is a lot of uncertainties with it, so, it's a subject to change, but we'll watch it closely over the next while. Of course. Simply says, appreciate you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like I said, we love you guys. Want to make sure y'all are here and weather aware and everything like that, but like I said, thankfully, once again, a lot of this activity is done for. Yeah, this is the last of it. This is the last of that weather. Right now, just a little bit of storm activity by Virginia Beach. Just got a little bit of a special marine warning just for winds to 40 knots, for the southern Chesapeake there for the boaters. But really, like I said, really not anything super wild right now. We still got that marginal they added, but I think most of our stuff's done. Let's see here. Ohio says, Andrew, thank you so much for the support that you have given me. My birthday, let's see, my cousin died today. Oh, my gosh. It was like maybe Andrew's, wow. I am sorry to hear that, man. That is terrible. Well, my prayers are with you, man. Wow. I so sorry to see, I can't even speak. So sorry to hear that, my friend. And, like I said, really, really sorry about that. But, all right, my friends. Well, like I said, we basically went over really everything we can regarding what we know at this point. So if you guys missed it, if you're just now joining, if you missed a live stream, just rewind it, go back, and you'll actually just see everything we talked about. So restart the live stream if you guys are just joining here. But anyways, y'all, well, once again, y'all, thank you for joining. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of a shout out to our donations here. Obviously, to our donators, I try to give y'all a shout out. The reason I didn't yesterday is because we had so many donations yesterday, dude. I couldn't go through the whole list. But we do have ourselves some donations here today. So once again, a big thank you goes to Mark. Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate the donation, my friend. A big shout out goes to A Person, the channel name A Person. Thank you so much for the donation, my friend. We have the Weather on the Go. Once again, thank you, man. Appreciate Weather on the Go. Also a fellow weather YouTuber. So once again, Weather and Go, thank you, man. Appreciate it. And of course, here recently we had Zach coming in with a donation. You guys, once again, thank you all for the support. Much love to y'all. And once again, like I said, y'all don't have to donate or anything like that. It is much appreciated. Definitely helps me out a lot. But once again, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for being here, just hanging out with us. Like I said, we're just glad to have you here. We really are. But alrighty, you guys. Let's see here. While yet still today, says appreciate you and good night, y'all. See you later. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night. But all right, y'all, we're gonna head over here to the ending screen, y'all. Like I said, we're gonna head off here in about 2 minutes, so that we're gonna go and start down the countdown here. So go ahead and say goodbye to your friends, family, anybody you're hanging out with in the chat. Just go ahead and give your final goodbyes. And like I said here, we'll be back here tomorrow to give you guys some more updates on the on this event, and we'll do more model analysis and more diving into it tomorrow as we gather some more information and stuff like that. But like I was saying, here soon, guys, we're going to start doing those eclipse forecasts. So look out for those. It's just going to be a series that we're going to do every day. We're going to do an update for y'all regarding the eclipse. I might even start that tomorrow, actually, because at this point in time, it's getting a little bit better to see which areas could see clouds and which areas obviously will be mostly clear. So we'll give you guys more updates on that. If y'all would be interested in those eclipse updates, just honestly, like I said, consider subscribing. Once again, I'm never going to ask y'all to, but just consider it if y'all would be interested in all that. And all right, well, once again, y'all, thanks for joining. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your night, and we'll catch y'all tomorrow with some more updates. Once again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for the mods for modding the chat. Thank you for our donators. And obviously, thank you everybody for joining and having or making this channel amazing. So thank you guys. Much love to you. And all right, y'all. We'll catch y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a great rest of your night. Stay safe. Get some good rest. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, my friends. We'll see you then. By the way, guys, we are literally 3 subscribers away from 24,900. So consider subscribing. All right, guys. See you later.